All right, we're back for another Free Agent Fridays, and I have Tricia Rasberry with me today. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Well, let's dive right in. Why don't you start with where you went to school, your major, and then your early career.
Yep. So I went to UW-LaCrosse. I'm born and bred in Wisconsin, and stayed in a state school, and majored in sports management, minored in business administration. And right out of college, I worked for the Milwaukee Wave, which is an indoor soccer team. So I actually interned with them during my last semester of college, and kind of proved myself during that internship. They kept me on for a couple seasons. I stayed there. Great experience in minor league sports, wear a lot of hats, got to do a lot of things, which is neat because it kind of gives you the path that you want to take, I think, working in minor leagues. So decided that I was going to try my best in sales, and I went to the Milwaukee Bucks, which at the time they had just gone to the Eastern Conference Finals. It was super exciting. Like, phones were ringing off the hook. It was a great time to be there. And the very next year they didn't make the playoffs. So kind of got there right when it was really hot. And then the next 11 seasons after that I was with them, things were either eighth seed or not making the playoffs. So it made for the great salespeople. So that's what I kind of got out of that. You really had to dive in and think about new, different fun things. I primarily worked there in group sales. So we were able to bring a lot of events, did dance competitions, we did Bowl for the Cure, all that kind of tied in tickets to them. Fan experiences started to come alive during that time, meaning high five tunnels, playing on the court, those type of things where people get more bang for their bucks and not just coming to a game, but experiencing things. I helped create a lot of different programs there, bringing dance teams out, bringing bands out, those non-traditional groups that would never come to a game as a unit, but because now they get to participate, now they're coming out. So started a lot of those fun things with the Bucks. And then I moved over to Rock Ventures. Rock Ventures is a company that owns a lot of different sports and entertainment entities. From indoor soccer to baseball teams to haunted attractions to youth and adult leagues to umbrella bars, things like that. So spent my last 6-7 years there working in a lot of capacities from from managing the sales team to corporate sales to merchandise to customer service, operations on game days. So kind of, again, back to minor league sports, you do a lot, but it makes it so much fun.
What got you kind of like wanting to get in the sports industry from the beginning and wanting to stay in it?
Interesting enough, my friend growing up, she was a couple years older than me. So she was going to college for sports management. And I'm like, what does that mean? So I shadowed her when I was in high school. She was interning at the time with the Bradley Center. And I just was like, this is so cool behind the scenes. I'm a very competitive person. I still play sports now. And that to me was so cool to see the behind the scenes, that really kind of pointed me in that direction.
You've, in minor league sports, you've kind of been wearing a lot of hats. Is there a specific area that you feel is kind of like you're like an expert in, or like it's kind of like your comfort zone? Like, is there that one area, or do you like kind of the organized chaos of everything?
The organized chaos is appealing. I don't know why it is, but
I'm the same way. It's scary.
It's scary. It's like if I'm not busy, going then I don't feel like I'm doing my job. But it's interesting that I've been laid off a couple weeks now, and the people that have reached out have all been the sales reps that I've helped build over time. So that to me, like, I think that helping people kind of get on their path, because a lot of times in minor league sports, they're their first year, maybe second year out of college. So you're really helping mold their careers. And that to me is awesome. I love doing that. And just hearing the sentiments from text messages and emails and phone calls of, hey, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be where I'm at today, and things like that. So I guess if I had to pick one, I'd pick that, but the organized chaos to me is
like sales leadership.
Yeah.
Sales leadership role.
Yeah.
On the ticketing or partnership side, either
I
preference?
have way more experience in the ticketing side of things.
Okay.
I did for about 2 years dabble in the corporate sales side of things in the minor league setting. So I've done both. It's just I've spent probably 17 years in the ticket sales side of things, so I know I have a lot more experience in that area.
On the ticketing side, what kind of like platforms have you used or any technology?
Oh gosh, what haven't I used? Artix and Ticketmaster Host, and we've used ProVenue and Glitner, and I feel like I'm missing one. The Northwoods League has their own built-in site. I've used that one.
Okay.
Um, I think that's it. Oh, I've used.
Anything on like with Groupmatics or any of those
We've used.
types of?
Yep. So Group Banix a little bit when we were helping out another team with some of their group sales, but we've used Vivo. That's been the newer
Okay.
extension
Yep.
that we've used a couple times with different platforms. Both we used it for our Hill Has Eyes actually solely as our sales platform. Went away from using Square, so that was neat to be able to do check-ins, things like that.
What do you think is your biggest asset or skill that you'd bring to the table?
I just think that that's a great question. I just am passionate. I spent a lot of time and effort into what I do, and I like I said, I still play sports, so I'm competitive, and I don't like to not win, hit, and achieve stuff. So, like, if you set me a goal, great, there's the goal, but I want to exceed the goal. I always have
Crush it. Yeah.
so like I'll put up charts or whatever it is of here's my goal and here's where I'm at and here's how I'm going to get there. And I think my boss always liked that about me because maybe the first game we weren't quite. If there's 50 games, we were 150th there. I'm like, yeah, but it's a Tuesday. So Friday, we're going to crush it. We're going to get back to where we need to be. So I always bring that positive attitude, I think, too, which is what you need. I always, looking on the brighter side of things. So, not always, like, woe is me, I don't have a job. Like, for me now, it's like, okay, I can turn the page. I can, we can move,
Right.
we can go wherever we want. Now, this is like, it's a fresh beginning. So.
How about on the weak side? Like, what do you need to work on the most, you think?
Probably, I'm very detail oriented, so maybe stop focusing so much on always those small details and look at the bigger picture of things, because it's all gonna work itself out. So I think those little things, just trusting the team that's helping you do those type of things too, is probably my biggest weakness.
What's your dream job?
Well, that's actually an interesting question. I would ask that question all the time in an interview, and then people will go, "Well, what's yours?" I'm like, "Well, I'm living it right now." So I was actually living my dream job, where again, the organized chaos of minor league sports is so much fun. I've worked in major league, and I love that too. Minor league to me just has that different dimension of just wildness. So just anywhere I could go in and make a difference for me at this point in my life, it's like. I love to work. It sounds crazy, but I do. I like.
Wow, I met somebody else that is crazy like me.
I like working.
Yeah,
My husband's like, maybe it's time for retirement. I'm like, I'm way too young for that. I have to work. So.
Yeah, people don't get it that aren't. I mean, it's definitely a unique thing. I really enjoy what I do. I think our skill sets are probably similar. I'm probably more on the corporate partnership side, but I oversee ticketing as well. But yeah, I mean, it's not work. It's just
Right.
It's life. It's fun.
Exactly.
Yeah. So are you open to relocate for a position or?
Yeah, I'm actually in a position to do that now in my life. Kids are through high school, so it's like fair game to go. But warm weather states would be wonderful. I'm just saying, in Wisconsin my whole life and love the sunshine. But anywhere that is a good fit for me, I think we're open to doing.
Anything specific about you that would really make you stand out from the pack?
I think my personality, I'm definitely fun, exciting. You'll find that like with sales teams, I always do sales contests, what it could be relevant to, what's going on in the world, whether it's the Olympics or, which is not this year, but, Survivor type things. I like to make sure that people stay engaged that way. I would say that I don't know. It just, if you meet me, you're going to say, oh, we need her. Like you would be dumb not to hire me because your company will be better with me. So I'm not saying you're dumb, but saying like,
Yeah.
I'm going to have this, the skill set to make your company more successful, and you'll be smarter for hiring me.
How, what size sales teams have you managed?
So just up to 10.
Okay.
So again, minor league sports, you don't
Yeah.
have a huge staff. We
That's
probably
pretty much almost any team is 10 and under,
Yeah, so
for
we
the most
probably
part.
have one of the bigger ones just because of all the different assets that we have.
Yep.
But yeah, but it was 10 was the most we had. Not to say though that I've managed, because on game days I was in charge of all the
Right.
usher, box office, interns, things like that. So it's like when you add that to the mix, then you're talking 40 or 50 people on a game day.
Yep. And you also were over merchandise as well. Was that like
Yeah.
just game days, or was that all
No,
of
so
like
so
team
we decided.
stores and everything?
Yeah, we decided to take merchandise in-house. It's something we had been outsourcing for several years, and we thought it's probably better budget-wise if we bring it in-house. So I solely did everything from purchasing to creating the websites for it, to selling online, to putting the things in the store, to even fulfillment for shipping. So it was a lot, especially for more than one team at the same time. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of, it would be a fun job. There's so much stuff
it
going
was
on there. And
it was so much fun. Yeah. I
I
mean,
know the wave, so I know those guys and
yeah, I mean,
watch them grow.
it's something that I had never done. I like to shop, but other than being the consumer, I had never been on the other side of it. So I did so much research on it and talked to so many people, and was able to get into some wholesale buying. So we saved a lot of money budget wise for cost, and then profits were great. So it was great. We way exceeded my first year doing it. It had our best year we had ever had. So it was
Nice. How about a fun fact about you personally that maybe most
yeah.
people don't know?
That don't challenge me, because I am always up for a challenge. So I had someone from the gym a couple years ago say, I bet you won't do the trifecta for a Spartan race. So the trifecta, if you're not familiar with Spartan races, is doing 3 races in 1 year, and you have to do the sprint, the super, and the beast. So it's a 5 mile, a 8 mile, and a 13 mile, plus all the obstacles that they put in there, and you have to do it all within a year. And I don't run that much, but I practiced running just so that I could do this. So the beast was the worst thing I've ever done. It was in Indiana. It was up and down like sand dunes. Oh my gosh, it was crazy, but I did it. So for me, I think it's give me a challenge, whatever it is. That's my personality, though. Even if I fail at it, I'm gonna give it my all, because it's what I
Hyper
do.
competitive,
Oh, totally. Like, what do you want me to do? I'll do it.
And I think you need to be competitive to really do well in sales. I mean, it's just, it just comes with it. So it's
Absolutely.
good to see. Well, thank you for joining me. We'll do what we can to help spread the word, and I'm sure you won't be looking long. You've got a great resume and some great experience. So anything that we can do, just let us know.
Awesome. Thank you so much.